in a form of a leading visualization data tool. So earlier Tableau was itself market is was an individual tool of itself, but in 2019 Salesforce bought it. End of 2018, 2019, Salesforce bought it, and now it's a part of a Salesforce tool. So Tableau is a leading visualization tool in the market, which helps you to have many desirable and unique features. And for that reason, it is one of the most used tool in the market for the visualization purpose. Now, what is visualization? Visualization basically means presenting your data in a form of a bar, in a form of different charts, which is understandable to a person, to an end user, basically in a more pictographical way. So it's a picture form of a way in which they understand the data, they know how to read through the data and everything. So each of the graph, each of the visualization that you create in it is a representation of some data information. So based on the data, it will show up if the sale numbers are going high for a particular product, the sales numbers are going low for a particular product, for the region, what's the population, what's the total sex ratio in there, what's the percentage of accommodations that are there, what is the area which is not covered. So all of these details comes under the form of visualization. Now, why it is said that we use visualization a lot? The reason behind it, because visualization is something which is easily understandable to integrate and to basically understand that what the data says and how to talk with the data becomes very easy by using this visualization. It becomes very easy to interpret, okay, what is this data meaning for it, is this data looking correct or is data not looking correct, or is there any issue with the data. So that interpretation becomes very easy when we visually see that. When we see it in a form of any visuals or anything, then it becomes very easy in that case. Now, as it is a leading visualization tool and Tableau has a desirable unique features and everything in there. So what basically it does is that it has a powerful data discovery that we have. So what happens is we have a powerful data discovery which helps to explore the application, allow you to answer important questions in a second. So for example, if you are there are two scenarios wherein if you are given just a straight data in a form of Excel, and I just tell you that okay, by looking at this data, please tell me which are the top five products which have the highest sales. So for that reason, you have to go into the data and you have to find it out. Whereas if you have the visual representation of it, so it will be quite easy by seeing at which graph is having the highest number. You can simply look at it and within a seconds, you can just answer that okay, this is the highest graph which has a highest score. So this would be the product A that would have the highest uh, sale numbers or anything on that sort. So that's why explanations and exploring the data with that application and to answer the important questions become very easy by using the feature of Tableau. Okay, so let's come on to the features of Tableau that we have in. First is speed of analysis. So the analysis speed is very fast. Basically, you put in the data and you start building the analysis. On base of that, you start building your charts and everything. So the speed of analysis is very fast in that case. Then the one thing is it is self-reliant. Self-reliant means you don't have to feed in or you don't have to add in any extra add-ins or anything. You just put in the data and it easily visualize the data by its own. Once you put particular value or the particular measures or variable in the rows and the columns respectively. Then the third feature is it's a visual discovery. So basically, visually you can discover by looking at the visuals. You can easily say that what's the highest and the lowest points, what the difference between the data, how the data looks, Is the numbers looking correct? How the data is transforming year over year, month over month, or quarter over quarter? Then the fourth one is data source. So it can be connected to various data source, not only your just your Excel, but you have connections through CSV, through PDF, through your text files. In fact, you have the connectivity to connect with the databases and all other sources as well. So we can connect it through various sources as well. So that's why it's a wide variety over here. So we are not only um, intellected for a single data source, but there are multiple data sources with which we can connect it. Then we have robust security. So here in Alteryx, as it's a licensed version that comes up in the market, so we have a pretty robust security when we talk about it. The data is secured in every platform, in every which way. Whenever the data comes in, the data enters into the system in every which way, as it is a licensed software. So obviously the data is secured at each point of time. So these are some of the basic features that are there in the Tableau that we all talk about. So any questions still here by anyone?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I meant data sources like what? Uh, is it like databases? SQL and
It can be both the databases as well, and can be a flat file like Excel, CSV, anything of that sort.
okay.
Okay. So yeah, there are few more features that are also there in the Alteryx. They are architectural agnostics. So there is a proper architecture that is based on that you upload the data. Once that data is read up, then you start creating the data and everything of that. Then you start creating the data as per the visualizations and as per everything. Then there's a real time collaboration. So if you have two options of live and extract, so you can really collect the live data all over again. So basically, if there's a live data which is coming on a very second basis. Now, live data is something which is like you get on the e-commerce website or the newses or anything of that sort. If you have any live data that you are tracing for, so we can have the live data collaboration as well, where in seconds of time the data is getting refreshed and you are able to see the refresh numbers. Then there is a centralized data. So Tableau has its own repository as well as it includes some files. So basically there's a centralized data wherein you can save your data, you can use that data, you can share that data across using the package workbooks and everything. So that's why we call this as a centralized data. Then it blends over the diverse data sets. So there can be different types of data sets, different type of data sources, different types of file with which you can blend it together and you can work with it. Okay. So that's how we work with the few features and everything of the data. Any questions so far? Any questions so far, guys?
No, ma'am. You can move forward.
Sorry, we can move forward. Okay, perfect. So let's see basic, very basic visualization and very basic. So this is basically the interface of the Tableau. Now you have a licensed version of Tableau basically in the market. So you get a free trial version for 14 days, and post 14 days that free trial version ends up. But there is another way you can get the license for for an year. What you have to do is that you should have a student ID like any college going student or anything, if they have the ID cards, or if you can arrange for anybody's ID card, goes to the college, you just have to get the image of those ID card, upload that to their website, just the image of the ID card, fill the details. Within like 15 to 20 minutes, you will receive an key. After the verification is done, you will receive a key from them, and this key can be your license key, which you can utilize for an year. Okay, so that ways you can have the Tableau desktop available for you to use it as a free version, a free student version, basically. So this is basic interface of Tableau. So this is the point of data source, from where you basically have your data source inserted. So this, when you open setup, you get this interface. So it's very simple. You just go to the file. You either, if you have an existing file, so it's fine. If you're not, and if you want to connect to a data source, you get to the data, you connect to the new data source, you get this interface in initial. So see, you can connect to Tableau servers, and in the file section you have these options. In the server sections you have all these options, and you can just connect with any of them and you are good to go. So like I have connected with the sales target US data, and once I connect with it, I get the sheet. So what I need to do is that I will just drag and drop the sheet over here. That will give me the data over here. Now here you have two options. One is live, one is extract. So live connection is whenever you are working on a data which is actually a live data, which is changing in a frequent of second, in a frequency of seconds, or in a period of second it is changing. So then we, and based on that your dashboards are updating. So that is called as a live data. Next is you have an extract data. Extract is basically a small subset of the live data that you create for it. So, and these are created whenever your data is not getting refreshed on very frequent of time, like a very small frequency of time when it is not getting refreshed. So you could just make it as an extract and save it and use that up, and lately use that up for work purposes. Now if you keep it as extract, so if the data is huge, it will not take much time to process, whereas if you keep it on live and the data is refreshing and the data is very huge also, so then at that point of time it is going to take a lot of time to actually process that. Okay, any questions?
The difference between live and extract.
That's what I told you right now.
I mean, if they both are serving the same purpose, what's the like?
Sorry, if they,
If they both are serving the same purpose, like they extract all the data.
they're not serving the same purpose. So if you talk about the online data, the e-commerce data which is there, so it's getting updated on a very few seconds of time, in a million seconds of time, right? Because in every milliseconds of time, one or the other person over the world is making a purchase, or
Okay.
maybe creating an account, or doing the things. So obviously that's a live data which is changing as soon as you refresh it, or as soon as you pull any column. Maybe earlier you saw that 10 new customers were added, but in the next second you saw that okay, there are more 3 customers that are added to the list. So that's a live data. Whereas extract is the data that already have been updated till that time, you make an extract. So like the last at, let's say at 9:10, you have like 10 customers who are being added to the list, and then you created an extract of the data. So that will keep us 10 customers only. The next 3 customers which have been added up at 9:11, that will not be considered. So basically they don't serve a same purpose. That's why we say that when the data is live, and every time we open a workbook on a live databases, it takes a few seconds, it takes time to load. Whereas in case of extract, it doesn't take that much of a time to load. How much heavy is the data itself is. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, fine. If no questions, let's proceed ahead. So these are basically the dashboards that I've created up over here. So these are the dashboards. Dashboards are nothing but the combination of the sheets basically for all the data that we perform. So for example, if I want to see for any sheets, basically I want to for a data set. Let's say if I want to create a new sheet where based on my customer name, I want to see the churn rate. So this is how it's kind of showing me. Now let's suppose I want to see it over here, or not like that, or maybe I want to see for their profit numbers. So I can see it over here based on the customer name, or maybe based on the segments also if I want to look for that and not on the customer name. So this is how I can see for them that. So now by looking at this data, you can simply tell that consumers have the highest profit. By this graph only, you can tell that consumers have the highest profit and home offices have the lowest profit. So this is how we basically, from a visual perspective, we visualize that. So by default, whenever you put anything on rows and columns, it will visualize it in a bar chart. Then you have that options to either change it at any form. Circle, like in a packs bar, either in a stack bar chart, in a bar chart as a heat map or as a pie chart. So whatever you want to see for, you can do it according to your requirements or in a tabular form or any which ways. So whatever you think is more comfortable for you to understand or whatever you think should be the apt way to represent it, you represent that. Now whenever you put through here, there are two sections which comes up. So Tableau has an automatic sense where it decides that if the data in the column is a string value, so it will be in the form of dimensions, and if the data in a column is a numeric value, it will be in the form of a measure. Okay, so these are the two things that is the differentiation that comes up over here. So that is what Tableau itself decided whenever you put a data. So it automatically divides the data by looking into the column, and it will divide your data in measures and and dimensions and measures. So where you see ABC, these are dimensions, and where you see these hash and everything, these are your measures. Okay. Any questions over here, guys? Okay. And this is an option of a dashboard. So whatever a chart is created, when you pull it up and put it up over here, so that's create a dashboard. So basically, we always prefer to have a dashboard, and we always show our user a dashboard only, because dashboard is a much proper and a productive way of showing someone. So if you show them this form, so they will understand it more better, because here the different things are considered. For example, if I have a product drill down, so by sales product category, I have these details. For furniture, for office supply, I have the sales till 2021. And if I want to change it based on the central or based on east, so I can get the numbers through it, and you can see the sales and profit by product names are also getting changed. So if let's suppose I select on this as well, Like for example, if I selected on technology and for the March sale number by a product category, you can see that what were the products that have been like differentiated. So for technology, for consumer, for corporate, and for home offices, the numbers have been shown over here. The sale numbers, they have been filtered out based on their profit ratio and everything. So if you hover over it, you can see the accessories of this, where the sales was $32, profit was $1, and the profit ratio was $3.8. Okay, so this is how this visualization can change everything. So this is actually a way wherein you can present your data, and you're basically drilling down through the products and everything. Okay. So any questions till here? As we are left with like 5-10 minutes, so I'm open for the questions now for you guys. So anybody has any questions, please you can go ahead and ask.
Yeah. So Isha, can you also tell the participants that how much the duration course would be?
Okay, so the duration of the course would be between 15 to there will be 15 to 20 hours of a session. The course duration is about that. That's one thing. Any other questions on that front?
Yeah, so we'll be giving the project also, right, for the practice?
Yes, I would be giving 2 projects for practice. Basically, there will be one mini project and there will be one major project. So there will be
Right.
2 projects that will be included in that.
Okay. So Isha, just one question. Do we need any technical knowledge like SQL and everything to learn this Tableau, or any
No,
non-IT person also?
a non-IT person can also exactly go through this and learn this. So there's no technology background that is needed for any person to learn this or do anything.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Isha.
No worries.
Yeah. So I think I'll confirm the batch start date in the WhatsApp group. Maybe
Sure.
I'll also inform you, Isha, on when we are
Okay.
starting the batch. Okay.
Okay, sure. No worries. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.